So, the 916 SPS Ducati, perhaps the king of the golden era superbikes, certainly for me anyway. This was the bike of my life, or this is the bike of my lifetime, I guess. I was 16 years old in '94 when these first came out, and they just changed everything. I thought it was the most stunning machine ever, and of course it won so many races and was at the forefront of that era with Fogarty and all these people and the sort of the best time in world superbikes, Bayliss and Corsa and all these great riders that were just such huge characters on track at the front on the podium on this bike, and you could buy one and it was phenomenal. I think I was 19 when I had my first 748, and I went on to have a 916 SPS, same as this, a couple of years later. I then actually went and turned it into a race bike, and it was my first ever race bike and got me on track and got me racing and got my first podiums and things. I think I finished fourth in my first ever race on my 916, and I absolutely loved it. I had it for years and years, and spent an absolute fortune on it, and it was you know, perhaps the greatest time and the most fun and the best racing that I ever did, to the point where I'm now racing a 998, because when I had my 916 it was the bike that came out, and of course it was faster than mine, it was the bike I wanted, and so I've now gone back and racing 998R in like a classic superbike championship. So I'm reliving my youth, you could say. This particular bike is a bike we've got in stock for sale at the moment at Lusso, and I just thought we'd take an opportunity to sort of talk about it, look at it, ride it, have a little fun and enjoy the bike that it is. It's quite hard to find a good example now because everybody's collecting these, quite hard. This particular bike is actually really nice. It's done 20-odd thousand miles, which is a little bit higher than you'd hope for, but it's got its handbook, it's got its history, it's got its service book, it's got a lovely wodge of receipts and all bits and bobs like that, and is remarkably standard and unrestored and nice. Somebody's repainted the rear set triangles, which is a bit odd, and a couple of little bits like that, but it could soon be undone with a little search on eBay and find those correct parts to put it back to really nicely standard. But you know, these are such a special machine. When they came out, technology-wise, they were at the forefront. 2 injectors per cylinder. You've got titanium rods. You've got, you know, dry clutch. You've got this. You've got that, they really put a lot of effort into this. Tamburini sort of built the first prototype by hand, and every single part of it was grafted into one another. I was fortunate enough to work at Virus for a little bit in Italy, and CRC, the Cagiva Design Centre, was just up the road, and Tamburini actually used to do some of the prototyping in their workshop early on, and they had this upstairs. Once I found this kind of board with these plasticine and bits of cardboard and stuff like that, and they obviously looked very old, and I said to the guys, I said, "What's this?" And they went, "Oh, it's the prototype airbox to the 916, Tamburini made that," and it was literally just a piece of board with a load of plasticine on it and some cardboard and bits of string and stuff, but that's how this bike was built. It's perhaps one of the last bikes ever put together by hand by a real sort of master of his craft. And even now when you look at this, it's so slim, it's so compact, it's so elegant. All the details on it are just beautiful. The steering damper bracket, the way it sort of curves around and things like that. Nobody makes things like this anymore, not even Ducati. And so it's just a bike that will perhaps never be repeated, and certainly sort of style-wise, performance-wise, technology-wise, it was just radical, and I still get excited by them today, 20 years on, you know, well, more than 20 years on. What an amazing machine, and just lovely to have a nice, tidy example here. I can't wait to go out and have a little go on it.